No one expected the next major global music wave to look like this. Not a headline from Los Angeles, not a viral Korean export, but something quietly gathering momentum from the Philippines. And from my vantage point here in Nigeria, the signals are unmistakable. What's happening with SB19 isn't just national pride. It's the early architecture of a broader shift. If you care about spotting global music movements before they flood your feed, stay with me. Like this, subscribe, and keep the notifications on. Patterns matter, and this one is forming fast. I'm based in Nigeria, a country that has already reshaped global sound through Afrobeats. We've watched Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido translate local rhythm into worldwide influence. So when I say I'm analyzing SB19 from here, it isn't casual observation. It's a test of reach. When a sound starts resonating in West Africa, it's often a sign it can travel farther than people assume. SB19 isn't simply another group trying to break through. They're building something with structure. Music that carries craft, choreography that carries intent, and a public persona that suggests they're not chasing validation. They're moving like artists who already understand the scale of the stage they're aiming for. What first drew me in wasn't a single viral moment. It was consistency. Chart placements, international conversations, fan engagement across continents. These things don't appear randomly. They form when an act has a clear identity and the discipline to sustain it. SB19's vocal control, storytelling, and performance design read less like experimentation and more like strategy. And that's why Africa matters here. Africa is no longer waiting to be introduced to global music. We're driving it. Streaming growth is accelerating. Festivals are expanding, and audiences are intensely responsive, emotion-led, rhythm-first, and deeply attuned to authenticity. We don't just consume music, we absorb it, amplify it, and decide what becomes part of the culture. For SB19, that's a critical threshold. Their music doesn't arrive as something alien. Their genre blending, pop, hip-hop, dance, and broader influences, feels familiar in structure even when it's distinct in execution. That balance is exactly what creates cross-cultural traction, recognizable energy with enough difference to spark curiosity. Picture this, SB19 collaborating with African producers or artists. It wouldn't be a gimmick. It would be a convergence. Two regions with strong performance traditions, fan-driven ecosystems, and a shared instinct for rhythm and narrative. That kind of partnership could reshape expectations for what global even means. Then there's fandom, which is often the quiet engine behind long-lasting impact. SB19's fan base functions like a committed community, not just casual listeners. In Africa, community energy is the accelerant. Fans don't merely enjoy music, they advocate, they circulate, they convert curiosity into momentum. Once that cycle begins, it doesn't stay contained. Word of mouth moves quickly, social media amplifies it, and small pockets of interest can expand into mainstream recognition. So why analyze SB19 from Nigeria? Because Nigeria is a proving ground. It's a place where global trends are not only tested, but often elevated. Early-stage curiosity here, conversations, shared clips, increasing exposure, often precedes broader global adoption. SB19 isn't yet a household name across Africa, but the early indicators are there: rising attention, growing intrigue, and the kind of engagement that precedes a larger wave. Cultural respect matters, too. SB19 doesn't dilute their identity to fit someone else's template. They represent Filipino culture with confidence, and that matters in Africa, where audiences value artists who stay rooted while reaching outward. It's the same principle that helped African artists bring the continent's sound to the world. Authenticity first, then expansion. What comes next is the key question. For SB19 to deepen their presence in Africa, several conditions need to align. Increased visibility through African media platforms, intentional touring or fan engagement, strategic collaborations, and targeted digital outreach that understands the local audience. Those steps don't just raise awareness, they build credibility. This isn't only about SB19. It's about a broader shift in how global music is distributed and discovered. Artists are no longer dependent on a single dominant region to define success. Audiences are actively seeking new voices, and regions are increasingly connected through streaming, social media, and shared cultural values. from the Philippines to the wider world. And now, with Africa watching, SB19 is positioned at the edge of something larger. The early signs are here. The groundwork is visible. The next move will determine whether this becomes a brief moment or a sustained movement. If you believe SB19 can make a serious impact across Africa, like this video, share it with someone who needs to see this perspective, and subscribe for more analysis that tracks global music as it actually evolves. This isn't just music, it's the beginning of a new conversation. The Quiet Revolution, how a Filipino phenomenon is redrawing global music's map. From Africa, no algorithm predicted this. No industry forecast saw it coming. But right now, in recording studios from Lagos to Nairobi, in fan group chats across Accra and Johannesburg, and in the private conversations of music executives who rarely speak publicly, something is shifting. A movement, years in the making, is being recognized not as a possibility, but as an inevitability. This isn't about another Western act breaking into new markets. It's about a group from the Philippines, SB19, methodically, almost silently, rewriting the rules of global pop expansion. And the most unexpected catalyst? Africa. If you follow music's underground currents, you've felt the tremors. If you don't, you will. Because what's happening isn't just the rise of an artist. It's the formation of a bridge between two of the world's most vibrant, untapped musical ecosystems. One that doesn't ask for permission, it simply exists. The signal in the noise. Let's begin with an observation so quiet most missed it. Africa doesn't just consume music. It curates it. This isn't the continent of a decade ago, waiting for trends to arrive. Today, African listeners, young, digitally native, fiercely opinionated, hunt for sounds that resonate. They don't follow hype, they create it. And when they latch onto an artist, the ripple effect isn't linear. It's exponential. So when SB19's name started surfacing in West African music circles, not as a viral blip, but as a recurring conversation, it wasn't by accident. It was recognition. This isn't fan speculation. It's pattern identification. The same way industry insiders noticed Burna Boy's early traction in the UK before African Giant, or how Davido's collaborations with American artists were preceded by months of organic African buzz. The machinery of global breakouts doesn't start with billboards. It starts with whispers in the right rooms. And SB19 is in those rooms now. The unseen alignment. Here's what most analyses overlook. Africa and the Philippines share a musical DNA, not in sound, but in instinct. Afrobeats thrives on fusion, highlife's warmth, hip-hop's edge, dancehall's rhythm, all stitched into something unmistakably new. SB19 operates the same way. Their discography isn't a single genre, it's a collage. One track leans into R&B's vulnerability, the next explodes with pop-punk energy, another weaves traditional Filipino instruments into modern production. That restless experimentation? It's the same impulse that powers Afrobeat's global dominance. But here's the critical difference. Most non-African artists trying to enter the continent adapt. They dilute their sound, chase trends, or lean on feature-heavy collaborations to fit in. SB19 isn't doing that. They're doing something far riskier and far smarter. They're staying themselves. And Africa respects that. Why? Because African artists didn't conquer the world by sounding like everyone else. They won by doubling down on their identity. Burna Boy didn't remove his Nigerian cadence for Western audiences. Wizkid didn't soften his Afrobeats roots for essence. They exported their culture unapologetically. SB19 is following the same playbook. Their Filipino heritage isn't a footnote, it's the foundation. Their choreography pulls from traditional dance. BTS's ARMY didn't just stream songs, they reshaped touring economics. Beyoncé's Beehive doesn't just buy albums, they influence cultural moments. And in Africa, fan communities don't just cheer, they mobilize. SB19's fanbase, Aten, is already one of the most organized in global pop. But in Africa, their growth isn't just about numbers. It's about behavior. African fans don't passively consume. They participate. They remix songs, create dance challenges, turn lyrics into slang, and, most importantly, they spread. Word of mouth here isn't a marketing tactic. It's a cultural reflex. When a track like Mappa or Jinto starts circulating in Lagos or Nairobi, it's not because of algorithmic push. It's because someone shared it in a group chat. Someone else played it at a party. A DJ slipped it into a set. And suddenly, it's everywhere. This isn't hypothetical. It's happening. SB19's African streams are climbing, not in a single country, but across the continent. Their fan accounts are multiplying. Local influencers are reacting to their performances. And crucially, African artists are noticing. That last point is key. When African musicians, who are notoriously selective about collaborations, start publicly praising an act, it's not fan service. It's a signal. And SB19 is receiving those signals now. The strategic silence. Here's what makes this moment different from typical global expansion narratives. SB19 isn't announcing an African push. They're letting it happen. No press releases. No forced collaborations, yet. No sudden pivot to Afropop to chase the market. Instead, they're doing something far more effective. They're building in plain sight. Their social media engagement with African fans is organic. Their music is being discovered without aggressive promotion. And their team's approach to the continent isn't transactional, it's observational. This isn't an accident. It's strategy. Smart artists don't rush into markets. They listen first. Because Africa doesn't just consume global music, it validates it. When an artist breaks in Lagos, the industry takes notice. When they trend in Nairobi, labels recalibrate. When they're played in Accra's clubs, it's not a regional win, it's a global signal. SB19 is sending that signal now. And the response isn't just from fans. It's from gatekeepers. Executives who rarely engage with non-Western acts are watching. Booking agents who specialize in African tours are taking meetings. Producers who shaped Afrobeat sound are reaching out. This isn't hype. It's infrastructure forming. The unspoken question, what happens next? Here's where the story gets interesting. SB19's African momentum isn't following the old playbook. It's writing a new one. And that means the next steps won't look like what we've seen before. A few possibilities. The organic collab, not a forced global single, but a true fusion. Imagine SB19 working with a producer like SARS or Kel-P, blending Pinoy pop's melodic precision with Afrobeat's rhythmic groove. The result wouldn't just be a song. It'd be a cultural statement. The strategic tour stop, not a full African tour, yet, but a high-impact festival appearance. Maybe Afrokella or Lagos Carnival. A moment where they're not just performing, but being seen by the right eyes. The underground takeover. No major label push, just grassroots dominance.